It's the wrong shot type. I don't know how to play as the shot type. Fucking wee ball. I misspelled the title of my stream. Unbelievable. I have no clue how to route with this shot type, so... Discord down. Oh, whoops. I'm very smart. I will end my minute. I'll let you pause in the middle of this. There. Now we're good. Now we're good. Surely I didn't forget anything else. Crisis averted. It might have been the end of the world if I hadn't done that. Let's just add a bumper crop so I can go back to playing Rainbow A. Oop. Don't shotgun that attack. Noted. Okay, now let's play. That's not Rainbow A. What the fuck did I mean Rainbow A? I meant Rainbow B. No, Rainbow A is the good one in this game, right? I was talking about subterranean yesterday. I forgot what is what. Great, why would you drop 4 seconds? Unbelievable. Hey, early fairy. You know, I just love angles and reading. Okay, warm up. Okay, again. This time I'll actually read dodges. Surely. Got some dibs on a new character in Lost Branch. Like mod-wise, because I thought the new character was Alice. Or the devs constantly have to work 2 characters ahead because they don't know what they're doing. See, who's working on a mod for some character? That could be anything under the sun. Show. There's no rhyme or reason, I just need to name a character. Which already has a mod, oh shame. Show 2. By Nazareth. How about that one? Ranchama. She was wrong, me too, kid. Anyway, what do you mean anyway? Oh yeah, the triple baka. Isn't that like a... Is that a combined thing? It's Oku? There already is an Oku, I'm pretty sure. Hello, Light General. Are the triple baka like a single unit, or are they trying some really weird shenanigans? I would not put it past Lost Branch modders. Okay, I figured, but I wanted to make sure they're not trying to break anything. I thought I'd heard about that someone was working on a triple baka previously. Maybe that's just people talking about what they'd want to have mods. From the Yuki guy, could you not, like, just do that? Oh my gosh, Ogane. Ain't a character that swaps between characters. Regular Isaac and Esau, or no, who is it? Jacob and Esau, you control 2. There is one that swaps. It's not Apollyon, I don't think. Can't remember. Because one of them swaps like every room. You effectively swap every room. But you have your active item, which lets you like force swap, so you can kind of like change. I cannot remember who it was off the top of my head though. Age of Apollyon, I think, had like the red flies or something. Okay, well, you said there's a tainted character that swaps between characters. In Binding of Isaac, and I know there's a character that does that. I can't quite remember who it is off the top of my head. It's Lazarus. Tainted Lazarus swaps. Now I remember. It is Tainted Laz. Because he swaps between his regular form and his non-regular form. I'm like 90% sure. To be honest, I'm not 100%, but I'm like 90%. 3G RPGs, true, always an issue. There's the... You know, I expand the, I expand it a little bit, but I just have too many Touhou games to play. I just want to do more cooking. Oh, this Isekai mode is so big, so goated. .405, pretty solid. Lost Branch of Legend XD. Is that the new version? Lost Branch XD? It's like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Lost Branch of Legend XD. This is the Super Lost Branch. Branch of Legend DX. No, that's the worst one. XD is the better one. DX is the worst one. I mean... I love the early game. Yeah, you have the neutral exhibit mod, and in spite of the neutral exhibit mod, I can still never swap to the tour and do an off color every time I try. You don't have to go out of your way to do it, okay? It's a small inconvenience. It's not that big of a deal. It's a fun thing to complain about at times. It's rarely particularly relevant, and like even then you have to have like really bad luck. Like I had last time I played Reimu A. I'm just waiting for. I'm not waiting for Lost Branch XD. I'm waiting for Touhou Soccer XD. That's what we're waiting for. Hello, Zebra. Thank you for the good luck. No, my 10,000 faith. My guy's busy. Shame. Don't worry, we can wait another 2 decades. Jarvis, mod Touhou Soccer for me. Game after reading that game was shutting down. Neat. And Shamad will allow you onto every sizable window. Real Chads play in like 300 by 500. That's how real men play. By 3. Listen, you just translate like a close thing, okay? I was just making a random number to make an exaggerated point that's somewhat accurate. Gosh, Ogane on its way to be generous. We love to see that. Nice. Just to die to Hydro Camo like a little punk. Oop, I didn't go fast enough. My faith is tragic. Warhammer Vermintide 2 for free. Can't say I've ever engaged in anything Warhammer in my life. That's actually not technically true. Probably like 8 years ago, a friend of mine was going shopping for a bunch of like mini figurines to paint them, and I was alongside, and I went along with them. Listen, Light General, there's a real big problem when you name a game and it doesn't have the word Touhou in it. I've paid games at some age. Such is the life of a busy adult. You hate to see it. Effing dibble-doo. The Omen Trilogy? I have no clue what that is. Why am I on the left? We hide in the left corner. Keep scrolling. You're booked. You and your Kwakuma and Patchy gets angry with you. My biggest problem with the Etrian Odyssey games is that I think they're probably ruined for me solely because I played the Labyrinths. Never, ever, ever underestimate that, though. Like, I have a friend who's played some, if not all of them. I don't actually know for sure. I know at the very least he's played some. And, like, I was interested in them, but, like, if I wanted to play an Etrian Odyssey type game, I'd just play Labyrinth of Touhou. Like, that is a problem with, like, most games. Oh boy, I want to play, like, XCOM, or, oh, I want, you know, Fire Emblem, maybe. Oh, maybe Striking a Nerve. I'm just going to play Fantasy Maiden Wars. You know, I want to play a random turn-based JRPG. Insert random Touhou JRPG. I'll play that one. I want to play Harvest Moon or something. I'm just going to play Misty Zizakaya. After the Touhou 3 release date, you can 2025 going to fell to your knees. Yeah, isn't that because I feel like I remember Daviko saying this, but I don't know for sure. Wasn't he ill for a bit and was like in the hospital? So it got tragically delayed. There's a lot of different post Fire Emblem and a lot different from XCOM. In terms of its technicals, yes. In terms of its genre, no. Those are recovered. Well, that's good news at least. Maybe we'll get Labby a try then by 2029. Oh. That was not very pleasant. Also, hello, Momiji. We're gonna get I8's attorney form for Labby try. How the world we live in. Don't snail me? You fucking snail bastard! She really tried to snail me. The power of the snail trail is not good enough to stop me right now. Boom. I know PC with good parts and using for 2D indie games and games from 20 years ago. That's the thing. My computer's actually a pretty nice computer, and like all I use it for is Touhou games and Touhou fan games. John. Yeah, but here's the thing, like, General. As someone who is a massive XCOM fan, as someone who's played a lot of Fire Emblem, I can look at Fantasy Maiden Wars and see the distinct differences and say, yeah, there's a lot that's different here. Because they do ultimately feel a lot different. But the problem is, if you're not someone who's familiar with any of those games, the differences are gonna, like, be marginal. Like, it's all gonna be clumped into the same group. You just clump them together when you don't have that type of experience. Also, hello, Ayaya. Pretty nice Saruta. Pretty nice Saruta. That dodge is always one that pains me, even if I'm pretty consistent at it, it's always one that pains me. Oh, thank you. I hate the Storm Day. Woo! Just die? Thank you. Oh, I read way too aggressive there. Son of a bitch! I, like, made the dodge as I saw, wait, I should just stay an extra wave. Ooh, and then I fumbled the bag there. Oh well, we take those. Very good pace. XCOM and Fire Emblem remotely similar is a crime. Yeah, but the thing, like I said, if you know the distinctions, it's like, yeah. But the problem is, it's like, if you're not someone who actively plays the genre a lot, they're way more similar than they are different. And this is coming from someone I love XCOM. I'm generally a fan of Fire Emblem. I'm a little hit or miss depending on the games, but I am the Fire Emblem fan. And I'm currently loving Fantasy Maiden Wars. Bloop. I messed up Ion on 3. It's Joe. I should probably retire now. Oop. Okay, surely we don't get bumpered. I will say one thing that I really like about Fantasy of Maiden Wars is that I just find it's so much more often to find 100% chances to hit than other games in the genre. Maybe that's partly because Bullseye is a thing, but... Like, the worst thing you could do in, like, XCOM or Fire Emblem is you get yourself in a great position, you're like, oh, I just gotta hit this. Oh, I got this free setup. Oh boy, they're wide open, or just whatever you get, you look, it's just 95. Yeah, although I will say, like, a lot of the normal enemies, like, even without skills, seem to be pretty good for hitting, especially because you can focus to get that extra 10%. Now, Suwako and Aya are, you know, pains in the ass, but evasion enemies be damned. Having access to Bullseye is such a thing. Well, to be fair, in, like, Fire Emblem, like, magic can often feel like it's 100% accuracy. But, like, that's specifically just magic. Like, if you ever get the opponent in a bush and you're, like, and you're just swinging for, like, 30%, then you just cast a fire spell, and it's just like, oh, 100%, that's wonderful. 599s in a row. Dude, so, you know, you gotta love chances to hit. Yeah, I want to shoot a rocket launcher that has a 90% accuracy. I never miss these. Surely I never miss these. The 8, by the way. Skill difference. Just hit. Just that simple. That was a hitbox moment. Some slice with the odds. I feel like every game kind of does. Some of the Fire Emblem games actually, like, truly lie about the odds, where it's like the accuracy actually goes on a scale where it's like the lower accuracy is actually less likely to hit than it should be, but the higher accuracy is actually more likely to hit. I feel like I remember seeing that about actually, like, it might have been like Awakening and like Fates or something. That was a while ago when I read something like that. XCOM, I feel like, is a little more notable in its, like, kind of RNG for accuracy, because I feel like a lot more of XCOM revolves around taking pot shots, taking like, I feel like in, like, Fire Emblem, you're like, rarely trying to take you're rarely taking 65%, but in XCOM, you're like, let's rip a couple 65s. I feel like you're generally taking more inaccurate shots in XCOM, probably just because of how the range and health works in that game, comparatively. Who is messaging me? Why is my sister messaging me? How dare she? Since she know I'm dying to Touhou? One in 10 billion chance, dude. Running bun players would be like, gotta calc around it, dude. Pokemon Run Bud players when you have a 1 in 300,000 chance for one of your Pokemon to die in a fight. Fuck, dude, this is am I white here? I think I can miss, will miss. I love Liver. Yeah, well, it's like. Because generally speaking, it's like. I feel like in Fire Emblem you're gonna get a lot of 80+%, but I feel like in a lot of XCOM it's like 60 to 80 is like the range you're operating, like it's like, oh, that's a solid shot, like you're taking those. Whereas in something like Fire Emblem you're trying to make sure you play it at like 80% plus often. Maybe not quite as much in the modern era with the turns. Oops, I just tapped the wrong direction. With like the turnstones, but you're a lot more willing, I feel like, to bet on a 65%. If you whip it, you die, and then just be like, oh, that didn't work. Let me rewind time and find an alternate path. Was this played? Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing something at some point a while ago about how, like, Fire Emblem's RNG chances to hit, it actually exists. Gigi, thank you for the good luck, appreciate it. I didn't say hello, Alan, but hello. The fragile human mind. They know that if you miss like 280% in a row, it's like the game's going out the window and into the nearby lake, and will never be seen again. See, Touhou's a lot better because, like, although Hydro Camouflage is a roll of the dice often to see how disastrous it is, you don't actually see, like, a % chance on the screen. So it's not as so it doesn't feel as you getting fucked in the ass over and over as, you know, as it probably is. Two cents of real randomness. I mean, one thing I'll always say is that people, like, statistics and randomness is like, and like statistical probability is such a nigh impossible thing to actually understand. Like, you can like figure, you can like, oh, you know, learn what it is, but to like actually, it's such a hard thing for people to figure out. Here's my guys like XCOM shooting. It's so true. And it's also the same in the regards that if you play well, you can make your chance to hit 70-80%, but if you fuck something up, then suddenly you're hitting a 20% chance. Eek! I love this spell. Eek! I love this spell. This is my favorite. One thing you'll learn experience, like just simply watching broad amounts of content and just a lot of different people, is that most people who engage with things online at the bare minimum do not have a good grasp of statistical probability. That is just not something they have a fucking grasp of. And even people who who study it more and actually pay more attention, even then, it's still just a... Especially when you get big numbers, because, like, when you actually try to, like, it's basically impossible to fathom, actually, like, what 1 in a million, like, is. Where's the math? Yeah, math is scary. Math was always my best subject in school. In fact, I will always parade around on the ACT when I took it at the end of high school. English and writing I did like okay, or English and reading, excuse me, I did like fine in. But my math was a 31. And my science, which, despite being called science, it's effectively just statistics. I got a fucking 36 in, which is perfect, so I got to toot my own horn a little bit. Always been a numbers guy. Which contrasts that to my older sister, who fucking despised math. My mom was an accountant. She got a degree in accounting. But like, my older sister hated math, but she always loved stuff like astronomy and stuff, and I fucking despised astronomy and all that shit. But like math, that was my thing. There's no clue what numbers mean. God forbid we bring up imaginary numbers. God forbid the mathematicians try to have fun once in a while. It's just different perceptions of the same thing. It's always one of those interesting concepts of how, like, in school, like, you could have two people in the exact same class being taught the exact same thing in the same way, and they just perceive it in just completely different ways. It's always fascinating how that type of thing will work. Like, even if you're literally being shown the exact same thing in the exact same way. Sure, 36 is good. On the ACT, 36 is the max score you can hit in any of the given categories. So it's a perfect in that. More importantly, on the same test, I got the highest score of all of my siblings, so I'm clearly the smartest. The highest average score of all of my siblings. Now, to be fair, unlike my older two siblings, I never finished college. And my younger sister actually never took the ACT because she didn't go to college. That was the thing. When I was younger, dude, you want me to read history? Yawn. Dude, I'll fucking do algebra any day of the week, though. Six overall, had to retake it. My parents, Asian parents, why you didn't do the same? I think my overall was... it was 29. I was about to say, I think it was 29. It was like 29.7 or something, technical score. Don't you exile me? My eviction order that's sitting in my hand speaking to me in Lost Branch. So there we take those. Absolutely. He got 36 overall, had to retake it. What, was he suspected of, like, cheating or something if he got it perfect? Yeah, 36 overall would be, I believe, perfect on everything. I believe they round, so if you got, like, a 36, like three 36s and a 35, it would, like, I believe it would end up as a 36. So you probably technically could get, like, one or two things wrong, but... Retake it. I'd assume someone or something would probably accuse him of cheating or something. Because generally speaking, you can retake the ACT. Technically, you can kind of do it as many times as you want. They just ultimately take your highest score. So if you get like a number and you feel like I could do better, you can go try again. Although most of the time you really don't end up doing much better, which is why most people don't. It's so fun they had to do it again. They just had Hack a Human, by the way. They just had such a fun time doing the AC. Sitting there doing a test for like 3-4 hours. That they wanted to do it again. Nothing like doing a test, especially under like a time limit. That's a certified hitbox moment if I've ever seen one. Die. Thank you. Early kill. Damn, 30 seconds left. Rainbow B? And this is not Rainbow B, this is Rainbow A. Rainbow B is the next game. Rainbow A actually broken in this? Many have said this. Testing, yeah. Because effectively kind of the point of like the SAT and the ACT is that like you can't actually like for like employers and such, and I think like colleges, you can't actually like force an IQ test. So they kind of use this as like a, oh, this is an academic test thing to kind of play around that. It's not like, it's definitely not nearly a 1-to-1 to a, to an IQ test, but like, they do, like, because like, you're not allowed to like, you know, give an IQ test as a form of, like, job hunting or anything. So colleges and such have used the ACT and SAT as an alternative. In the Midwest, yes, I am in Michigan. Although I'm pretty sure the ACT and the SAT have gotten like similarized or something in the recent years. Or the needs. Especially since after I took it, I sure don't fucking give a shit anymore. Illusionary Waterfall, when it actually works, is such a fun spell. When I actually, like, play well. Christ was in the 40s? What are you, fucking 90 years old? Every fucking Touhou player try to pretend that they're ancient men that used to fight in World War II. Every single one of them. No, it turns out Zebra's actually Captain America. He's frozen in ice for like 80 years. That was so mean. What? My comment to Zebra or me beating up the Kappa? Because the Kappa deserves it, if that's what you're saying. Both. Well, Notori deserves it, okay? She does Hydro Camouflage, that's on her. Okay, Zebra asked for it because of what his comment was. You're like, what do you mean by 40s? What do you mean you went to high school in the 40s or something? What does that mean? Second stage 4 base on the day? Base? spinning fairies to death. What my first Pokemon generation was. First Pokemon game I ever played was Fire Red. I have played the Gen 1 and Gen 2 games, but because I did eventually get my hands on those. When we got into Pokemon from our neighbors, they had like a garage sale going on. They're selling some old Pokemon stuff. That's how actually we got into Pokemon via the Pokemon cards. Because they had some of those. We got some like a garage sale, and then that just snowballed from there. You know, I got 3 siblings, and all 4 of us got pretty into Pokemon. So you were 5. Yeah, I was I think 6. I've been 5 or 6 when we got into Pokemon. Around then, I don't remember exactly. Okay, 2 paces up to I. Well, as long as I don't die to these birds. Hold on, these birds are well known for being one of the hardest parts of the run. I got pee after this run. Ay-ya-ya-ya-ya! Game Boy Colors with yellow and VSC. Yeah, because we had Game Boy Advance, but the Game Boy well, it was like the Game Boy Advance SP. It was the flip one, right? Like, there's the purple-y one. We had one of those too, but like we had 2 of the like the flip like Game Boy Advance like SP or whatever it's called. And those could play like the Game Boy Color games, like Red and Blue and stuff. So we had Red, we had Blue, we had Silver. We never had Gold or Crystal, but we had Silver. Although my sister played a shit ton of Sapphire, and my older sisters played a bunch of Sapphire. My younger sister played Leaf Green. My older brother played kind of a bit of a mix. I played mostly Fire Red, and then the DS came out. Really don't nod backlit screens as kids. Sometimes you got a deal. Speaking of got a deal, you got to deal with ay-ya-ya-ya-ya. What's it to be, eye of the chest or the head? I'm really happy with how I handled that one. I hate this notch. It's so... That wave is so consistent, but it's so fucking stressful. I also hate this attack. Whoa, 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 calm down, myself. Whoa there, buddy. Ah, fuck. Only 50-50 on Storm Day for the day. SMH. Well, I'll do Pierce when you got one here. Oh! Whoops. Okay, now you give me Peerless Free God. I see how it is. I hate Terror Nasty. Yeah, well, that's just because Wind God's actually free, clearly. Totally. Spell 2 is free or anything. No, Alan, it's not the hardest attack, therefore it must be free. That's how that works, right? I thought that's how that generally works with things. If it's not Fearless Wind God, then it must, or, you know, people will give respect to Momiji. If it's not one of those two, then it's probably just free, right? It's definitely easier. It's definitely more consistent. Our deck is Kaneko non-1, so true. Duality. Actually, Kaneko non-1 is second hardest attack. Hardest attack is actually Senai mid-spell. Bumper crop. Many have been saying. I think the hardest attack is the friends we made along the way. I mean, realistically, the hardest attack is definitely Hydro Camouflage. I'll take no doubters on this one. This attack is what's in my pants. Oop, this is not the direction we want to go, and yet it's still fine. That's the best part about like that, when you mess up your line and it's still fine. Could you not do that to me? Whoa, Shoddy. I'm just trying to get scored. You don't have to fiddle me. Any brain dead misdirect to AFK Senai mid-spell. If there is, I definitely haven't seen it, and I don't, and I'm sure I would have been told of its existence by now, as I've talked to a number of people who have played either LNBs or LNNs of Moth before. So maybe Alan is actually conspirizing and revealing the truth from me. I mean, I know he's hiding that Hydro Camo safe spot from me, so I would not put it past him he's hiding other things, but I have my doubts about Senai mid-spell having a brain-dead misdirect. Check it for Wave 1. Yeah, but Wave 1's not the problem wave. Like, Wave 1 is incredibly consistent throughout. It's, you know, if anything, and it's not that bad. It's like I have some issues with slipping up because it can be a little tight at times, especially under pressure. But it's not like it's that bad. But like if there's anything you'd want to consistentize in stage 2 or wave 2, but that's a lot less likely to happen due to the fact that it's more volatile because of movement. And I would be surprised if there's some kind of really, like, incredibly, like, safe spotty type of line for Wave 1 into Wave 2, but it probably doesn't, like, have you doing good damage. And then says Alan have? Just a few. Just most games. Hitbox moment. I fucking hate this spell so unbelievably much. Yeah, this guy's not a PC98 player. He's mid, dude. Honestly, call him out. Call him out, dude. Shame. Shame! Where's the highly responsive to prayers? Every pad in the series has been brute force checked. Yep. I love this transition. It's my favorite in the entire series. Ah, fucking piece of shit. I have to read that. It's too slow on it. Death Fairy of cringe. Me on my way to port the POFV AI into the game to find the optimal routes. Fuck you! Fuck you! Piece of shit. I hate that spell. How do you even transition Death Fairy consistently? That's the neat part. You don't. You transition it well enough to the point where it's more where you're hitting it more often than not. But it's kind of one of those where you just gotta like get used to sucking it up and like seeing it well. I've gotten a lot better at it. That was just like I definitely am more often than not on it. That was a slip up, so you hate to see it, but. But, I mean, it's unironically a tricky part of the game, like, it's not like an attack that, like, people will stand up and be like, oh, that's like Peerless Wind God. It's a hard part. You gotta lock in on it, and it's very lethal. Like, I'm not gonna say it's, like, I'll say that Taurus, not Tauros. That's a Gen 1 Pokemon. Taurus is harder than it consistently, but like it's rough. It's one of those sneaky rough things, I'd say. That's like. Never mind, the world's freest Taurus? Holy shit, don't forget to kiss your Kaneko. That's the world's fucking freest Taurus I've ever seen. Holy shit. Why are you giving that to me now? Like, kind of the idea is you go in that bottom right corner. You kind of do that wiggle shenanigans down the right wall that I did to bait the light blue bullets ahead of time. And then you get yourself a consistent hole between the light blue bullets, and then you just have to dodge the first wave. You have to get through the first, like, 2 waves. Kind of random, how much exactly, of the Death Fairy. And then at that point, you're kind of out. Although, even then, still don't underestimate him. He's a very that Death Fairy is a very volatile fella, so you gotta be on your toes, because he will catch you sleeping. He'll even catch you if you're wide awake. Or as I like to say, a live awake alert enthusiast. I did not pick that up, no! And I almost died in the process. And my way to get that Kanakusi. Who likes micros? Why would I ever micro anything? Micros aren't real, they can't hurt you. There, I did 1 micro. You happy? I did 1 micro. That's the best you can get from me. Oof. Two miss? That was a 3 miss, not a 2 miss. Still pretty good. Green wave or no balls. I guess my balls are coming off. Snip, snip. What was the other death? It was Stage 6 Death Fairy, it was Storm Day, and it was Ion on 3. So I died to Storm Day, and then I was kind of I was kind of out of it and not paying the most attention at the start of Storm Day and whoopsie wooed. Okay, I'll do another, but this is a big but. By another, I'll play more. This count this nobody saw it. True, actually. I gotta stop playing, not stream then. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. You didn't see it, so it didn't count? I guess I can count that as an LNN then. Touhou's kill, how much you go in the bullets? No, that just means Touhou's free though. Like it's just actually free. Clearly. Conoco's free, I just proved that, yep. It's not actually that hard, clearly, definitely, totally. I mean, 2 different paces passed through the cross today. Pretty base. Some shmup guys that look down micro dodging is basically a routing mistake. I don't doubt it for a second. Oop! Sometimes I try not to engage in comparison dialogue too much if I can avoid it. Well, you have to run the bullets. I'm sorry, okay? The bullets are there's just so many of them that it's hard to fight the urge to want to run into them. Death Bomb's existence being Touhou is Perry Slop. Dude, this is just quality slop. You just like it because it's good. Doesn't like Yomu or something in some of the games like actually like destroy bullets with her sword? So isn't that like, could you call that parrying? fuck, Automod? Oof. Wonder what about that made. I don't even know. It said Automod held a message for smart detection beta. Probably it's gotta be the beta, and it shows the normally every time Automod holds up a message, it like highlights a word. Here, let me all out through. It highlights a word that's like, oh, that's the problematic. You know, are you okay with this word or something? It didn't highlight a single word. No L1CC with tab. Maybe it didn't like the fact that you said she. I have no clue. It just it literally didn't highlight anything in that message as being wrong. As like, oh, this is a like let's take Cinnamon for example. Like sometimes one of his messages will get hold up for a word or something. Yeah, AI doesn't like you, Alan. And it's like it'll tell me, it'll like highlight, hey, this word is questionable. Do you want to allow this or do you want to block this? But it didn't highlight a single word for you. Wow, this just proof that Alan is as toxic as Cinnamon SMH, dude. Alan, well known for spreading toxicity, hate, and anti-Twitch messages out here, dude. Unbelievable. Any messages quickly? Oh, there's that couldn't have been it. Probably not. Shouldn't be. I've seen people post a bunch and spits before, and I've never had an issue with that. It could be, but I doubt it. Ah, yeah. You're saying too many messages quickly? Yeah. They'll give you like a spam warning. Twitch added again, being the greatest company known to man. They never do anything wrong and have no questionable decisions ever in their life. Early Fairy, let's go. Okay, it's minor Ico. I love the bump. Fucking A, dude. I fucking gay. I love this spell. I thought L1CC was a lick. I thought it's going to lick something. Like, normally if it had, like I said though, if it has an issue with a word, it like like highlights the word and is like, hey, would you allow this? Like, the most obvious notable case of this is, there's the town in Michigan called Gaylord. Spelled Gaylord. And Cinnamon is obsessed with trying to pretend that I live there. So he likes to message that. And then Automata every time is like, hey, are you okay with this word? I'm like, yes, you can let the word through. Go on, these. Yeah, there's also that's another point. There's been a lot of questionable discussions in my chat before. There's not a fucking chance that what Alan said is somehow more suspect than any of that. It just isn't sure about you as a person, getting bad vibes. I mean, like I said, Alan. Ugh. It's true. I saw Alan watch a person get their first normal 1cc, and Alan spat at them. Was like, "You not playing Lunatic yet? Wow, what a baby, dude! That's unbelievable. The things Alan's up to." Yeesh. I should make sure that's noted in jest. I haven't actually seen Alan do it, not yet, at least. Yeah, this time I won't get bumped. Bad cancel. Done to a streamer you'd like to think is you backseat too aggressive? Dude, I'm gonna have to cancel you for backseating. Alan, that's unbelievable. You were the 1cc. Yeah, like, unless I actively ask for it, I'm usually not someone who's gonna sit down and ask for, like, I don't like people who, like, oh yeah, this is how you're supposed to do this. I like information. Why is my frames dying? Okay, my frames are dying, so I'm gonna restate what I just said, which was, I don't like backseating because I don't particularly like, unless I, like, specifically go out of my way to ask for it, like, I usually don't like, oh, you should do this. Like, I like information. I like when I'm playing something like Fantasy Maiden Wars, and, like, I'm like, hey, is there an attack that's gonna make me not be able to move? Because that sometimes exists. Hey, what does the next attack do to me? Like, I like information, and then, you know, coming up the plan yourself. Generally speaking. Then 95%+ of Touhou streamers are okay with backseat. I mean, like, I'm okay with... I dislike backseating by nature, but I'm usually, like, I also don't, like, care that much. It's really contextual in how it's done. E33 for being QTE focused. I don't like that aspect of it. There's a few question parts I have at that game, but, like, I think the biggest is, oh my, I can't even say it. Like, the French. Oh fuck, I can't even say the word. It's so disgusting. The friend. Oh. Whew. That's hard. It's painful for me to get that word out. Ooh. Also, I'm not a huge fan of QTE in its existence. Why would you not move to the right? I guess she was kind of the right. Oh my gosh, I did like a good Ogane line. I'm growing? Neat. Except any else strats, I'll circumvent my complete ability to avoid bullets. I don't know, I also like learning. Doing attacks over and over and picking things up. Although helping speed along the process. The problem with microing and non-microing on Divine Virtues of Wind God is the fact that you can't just do one or the other, right? Like, you can not micro. Like, you can, like, try to avoid not microing. And, like, you can get around a lot of waves like that, but, like, eventually there are waves that will kind of force you to micro. And so one of the answers is, because, like, trying to read that ahead of time is always tricky. And so one of the answers is, well, what if you just, like, keep trying to micro? And that'll work, but there are waves where you can't micro. There are waves where you have to do the macros. And that's what creates such an awkward thing, right? Is the fact that, like, you can't just micro or macro Divine Virtues. Is the fact that you really exist on a wave-to-wave basis of having to deal with what's in front of you. There are a lot of waves where you can kind of do either or, but not all of them. Act a human. And you don't have that much reaction time. I love the Hydro. Doesn't everybody? Eee! I love Hydro Camouflage. It's such a cool spell. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to play a game that doesn't have Hydro in it. Instead, it's gonna have something worse. Oh, good grief, that bullet kissed me on the lips. I did not consent to being kissed on the lips by that bullet bite, mind you. It was uncomfortable. I'd like to file claims against them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're fine. Woo-wee! Woo! I think that E33 is a fine game. It's not a genre for me. I think it's a fine game. I think my biggest complaint is the people who promote it as something that it isn't. Because I love, like, turn-based JRPG. Like, that's like my genre, is like just turn-based RPGs and such. I think E33 really gets kind of seen as, like, almost, like, praised and promoted as something that I just don't feel like it quite is. The macro around the red and green? Well, yeah, but, like, also, like, when... because like the dark blue bullets will overlap with what is it, the green bullets? I think it is. And that's, you know, it's when the waves combine that's the problem. But the problem that actually occurs is like sometimes the dark like blue wave overlaps with the green wave, right? Like sometimes the bullets overlap and you can't micro between them. Like if you try to read that dark blue wave and micro it, you're just gonna get killed because you're gonna go straight into the other color wave. So you have to like macro around the side. That's one of those situations where you have to macro, where microing is just gonna like kill you, or at least make your life like incredibly worse than it should be. The game, yeah, I'm not someone who's gonna come in here and like shit talk E33 necessarily. I just. The aspect of it that I think, like, I don't particularly care for it, but like it's not really my type of game per se. And the French, sorry, that's hard to get out. He just reached my screen and shanked me. Claim that there's always such a macro. What? 83 Reimu width away from you. There's always a micro, maybe 3 Reimu width away from you. I don't know if I think there is. I think there is on average truth to that. I don't know if that's always true though. Because again, sometimes that like dark green wave is just literally on top of the blue. Or I'm sorry, it's the other way around. The dark blue wave, which is kind of that volatile wave, I'd say, is the one that's on top of the green wave, and then like you don't want to micro that. Because the bullets are just kissing each other. They're just standing next to each other. They're just lots of tongue too. It's not something you want to watch. Like if you're not a part of it, you don't want to watch that. It's not pleasant. It's me to recover. I had my time in the sunlight. It's good for speed kill. Spoken like a persuasion needle player you are. SMH my head. Like every blue can't go wrong. So true. Like, do I need to pull out the MS Paint again? Or Windows Paint? If I could start drawing my diagrams of the attack all over again? And explaining the conundrum? This big game against my head. you always micro, you ever have to make a decision of whether to micro. But then you have to make a decision of what spot to micro. You gonna micro on the left or the right? You gonna micro the green or the blue? Listen, obviously the optimal way to play is just to not think. Is to minimize your thinking. So the less thinking you can do, the better. Overcropp's free. Blue and cyan. You can just say light blue. Because generally speaking, it's the red, the green, the other green, because there's two fucking greens that look nearly identical, and the purple are all macro waves. Like I don't think anyone's gonna tell you you should be microing these. Like, no, those are all like generally things you're gonna be macroing. It's the dark blue and the light blue that is, you know, those are the waves that create the problems on the attack. Purple, light green, no matter. Yeah, but they still, similarly to the other green and red bullet, they still force the path. No, the bullet, no sword. Well, yeah, that's the hard part of divine virtues is that overlap, because you have those dark blue bullets coming through, and then there's green bullets behind that, and it's the same thing for the light blue into red bullets. Like the two effectively function the same. In fact, they are literally identical, just slightly different rotation, just like ever so slightly different rotation. They're nearly identical in terms of how they work. Like, I looked at this for, like, an hour and a half. Actually, it was, like, 2 hours of, like, actually trying to figure out, like, are the two waves different? And the answer is not really, actually. Like, the light blue wave is actually, it's, like, a little more angled to the left. And that's about it. Fear what spells was for embarrassingly long amount of time. We're talking about Bumper Crop. The well-known hard spell in this game, and it's a hard one to do, so. Hinanons. I mean, I died to a Hinanon earlier. Maybe I should be microing those more. She's not gonna go to the right, because she's a bastard. And I know how she works. She went straight up. Yep, see? I fucking told you. This piece of shit. I hate you. I hate Ogane so much. No, I don't hate it. I just don't like it. It still frustrates me. He not look crazy. Oh, if you don't know what you're doing going to Hinanons, you just stumble into that shit. You're like, dude, this is insane. They expect me to dodge this? You guys still kind of remember what that was like. Oh, what that was like back in the old days, 40 years ago when you were youngin' playing for the first times. hard game for me. Mob took me a good bit as well. Because it's not just a game that I could just resource my bombs with, same as the last few games, so it took me an extra measure or two. By the time I got to Subterranean, I was a lot more used to the bomb system, but Moth took me a while, because I hated the bombs. Don't bump me. Don't bump me. This isn't bumper crop. What am I talking about? This is fucking piece of shit. Oh, I need to stay right one more blue ball. Oops, my bad. I love Hydro. really need the Hydro safe spot one of these times. Grab this fucking piece of shit. Yeah. Glad you understand. Like bumper crop at worst, which, you know, who would have thunk that's imaginable? Yeah, I could complain for an hour over this game's bomb system. Honestly, this game is one of the biggest reasons why I really look forward to starting LNBs. So you don't have to fucking think about bombs. Actually, some would argue that LNBs are easier than 1CCs because you don't have to think about bombing. You make the game easier by just removing something you have to think about. You know, I never thought about it like that, but maybe that's actually... Maybe LNBs are actually easier than 1CCs. Say yeah. Yeah, like if there are any games that I would say like are LNB friendly games, I'd argue it's like this, Subterranean, and Mystic Square. Generally speaking, unless you're one of those sickos who like sits down and like giga routes out the power bombs in these games, but you know, what kind of sicko does that? Surely not IO Lord. And then Mystic Square, just because bombs are literally worthless in that. They do jack shit of nothing. You bomb, it's like, did I tickle her? Maybe. Probably not. Now this is bumper crop. Let's not get our attacks confused here. You see, so I give B-bombs so bad, right? It's probably a good thing to LNG. Yeah. DDC, Sakuya B, well-known, really good LNB shot type. Many have said that. Alan, are you a rage face capper? I never made her to the left right away. Until I just did. And Grudge Bow and 495 years. I feel like I might have asked you this before, but I just thought of it. I was like, this sounds like something. Like, rage phases sound like some bullshit that you'd be like, oh yeah, I would do these. I'd grind this. This is great. Sounds like right up your alley for miserable grinds. Beauty kills you on the second bullet for sure, or else is hacking. Yeah. Wait, what? I was about to make the joke of yeah, I have a fake keyboard inputs on screen to show that, and I just realized my fucking keyboard inputs aren't up. There we go. Good grief. I have been hacking this whole time. Both my solid, my 3-miss earlier. Ha ha ha. Fools. DVR going quite chill. About 10k per. Yeah, that's pretty normal. I'd say most people like to spend 10,000 attempts at something before they do it. I think that's pretty normal. Says the one doing an LNN grind. Grudge Bow, that's a new A final. You know, if Alan wasn't like a Touhou normie and actually spoke like words like normally, it'd be fine. But instead, we have to abbreviate everything and just pretend that everyone knows what everyone's talking about. I actually would have been fine in that one spot. I did that bolt across the freaking last second. Speaking of which, Alan, when are you gonna try Gengetsu, Rage Phase? I know it's PC 98, you don't really touch that much, but I think that might be just up your alley. For a sec. I was just saying, when are you gonna do Gengetsu Rage Phase? Like that, like I was gonna say, that sounds just like your alley. It sounds right up your alley. Perfect for you. Like, yeah, I know you don't touch PC 98 much, but like, you know, I feel like you could make an exception for something like that. Other games you can get full power for stage 1 boss, PCB, FW. I don't know about FW. PCB you can get full power by the end of Letty. I don't think you can get it before Letty. Although maybe there's some shenanigans where a different shot type can kill the Chirno quicker, and maybe there's more enemies that drop power. I don't know that for fact, but like I know you can get full power by the end of Letty. I don't remember for sure if you can get it before. Does the Perishable Knight give you a bunch of power in Stage 1? I feel like it does. But I don't remember. I don't know Imperishable Knight that well. And you get it on Stage 2? Okay. Because I think there are a few where you can get them on Stage 1, but you usually get them like in the middle of the boss. Like, I'm pretty sure I remember in SA, if you kill, like, Kisume quick enough, you can hit max power at the end of Yamame. I'd have to go back and look for sure, but I'm pretty sure I remember that, like it's a bit tight because you have to kill Kisume quick enough. And then get a bunch of extra power drops. But I'm pretty sure I remember being able to hit it on like it's effectively Stage 2 because you get it like on the Yamame kill. Yeah, literally on my LNN of Subterranean Animism, I get max power at the end of Yamame. I was like, I'll double check that real quick, so. But again, you don't get that pre-boss, you get it after the boss, so. You get it on the cap of the final spell. Again, it is a little strict in like what key you have to pick up. So, like, Reimu B is obviously going to be more predisposed to getting it than others, just because of the fact that you can pick everything up a lot easier. And also, it doesn't matter in the slightest. Like, it literally doesn't matter. You get full... If you're just shy of full power, otherwise, you get it at the start of Stage 2. It does... Like, you don't need full power for the start of Stage 2. Subterranean Animism Stage 2, well-known hardest Stage 2 in the series? She exiled my doll? Did we cap it? Okay, game, it's been nearly 2 hours. I think I'll take my leave soon. Fighting for me, dude. 32 is a feeling of power, absolutely. Not that it really matters that much at the end of, like, if you're at LNB material, but it's still one of those things that you get such a pride. Act a human. I love Hydro. It's such a good spell. I mean, sometimes she just goes up. And you just learn to be like, thank you. Thank you for doing that to me, for me. See, the best part about homing is that you just don't have to think when you route out stages like this. Like, you just kind of, like, let your homing do the work. Like, you just don't have to bother with it. Fuck my own ass. What was that routing? Subpar.